that's a fact. Engages the supplier, that's the factory. Now, the factory acknowledges concerns on the wig. And also, after engaging the supplier, they also advise the sales manager to replace the customer's wig with a new wig and also care maintenance kit. Because at the end of the day, the business is all about satisfying the customer and not the factory. So they would want to please the customer, knowing that the fault is not from the customer. Now, the sales manager informs the customer's rep of the director's feedback, and the customer's rep informs the customer of this resolution. So that's why you have these two arrows coming down to the to this part where you have the informs the customer about the resolution, because they are now like synced to the process flow. So the customer receives this feedback and then provides his or her own feedback on this experience, because they've informed the customer that, okay, is either we'll be repairing the wig because it's still repairable, or we'll be giving you a new wig because it is not repairable. Now, the customer rep collects and analyzes the customer's feedback and then escalates significant insights or any issue from that feedback to the creative director, who then escalates that issue to the factory. Now the factory receives feedback, and they use this feedback to work on the products in order to just improve the final result of the hairs. So that's the finished point. Thank you.
Awesome. Great job, Uche. Let me throw it out to everybody first, because we are all BAs, we are all in this together. Does anybody have any feedback for Uche or any questions? Yeah, Jabi.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, I like the presentation. For Uche's presentation, that was very clear and succinct. But I just need a clarification as regards. Can you please scroll down, Uche?
Okay.
Yeah. So I want to ask. So when where you have your this question, is it repairable?
Yeah.
So the stylist determines who's at fault. Was it the factory fault or was it from the customer?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I can see that everything here is saying if it's the factory's fault, then escalate, then engage the supplier, and then recommend the manager to replace. So what if it was malhandling, like it was a kind of fault that was not covered by warranty or something? What happens?
So if I get your question right, is it like, what if the hair is not repairable? Is that what you mean?
No, not repairable now. Okay. I'm trying to say.
Yeah, he's saying, so you mentioned, Uche, that sometimes it could be that the customers are the ones that actually misuse the product, right? Yeah. So it appears that your flow doesn't really show the fact that what happens if a customer actually misuses the product.
So when a customer misuses the product, I understand why you guys are asking this question, because you guys are men. But when a customer misuses the product,
what's that?
As long as the stylist has said,
what does that mean? I don't know.
They don't wear wigs, so they won't really understand the durability that comes with wigs. So even when a wig looks like it's been manhandled and looks really bad, if the stylist says it is repairable, then that wig would go back to the initial state, which is what happens 95% of the time. So that's why I said the stylist will inform the customer rep, oh, I've seen the look of what the customer is complaining about. However, we can take this wig back to what it was and then repair the wig. So that's
when that 5% chance, we are men now,
yeah.
When that 5% chance that it is us, is the person, the customer that misuse it, or you're just not going to fix it, what happens? You need to be clear about that flow. What happens?
Like the 5% chance, most times that's where it goes to no. So that's why I said to be honest, it's either it's repairable or it's not repairable based on
Yes.
quality and the standard of this business.
Yeah,
So
fine. We understand that part, and we are not disputing the fact that it's either repairable or not. But what
yeah,
we're saying is that I think you mentioned that sometimes it could be that the customer is actually the one that misused the product. So there needs to be a decision on what happens if the customer was the one that misused the product, or what happens if the customer was not the one that misused the product. Where is that in this chart?
So for
Also,
example,
okay.
what we are saying is, so if it's a customer that misused the product, you might still want to repair, but you charge higher. Maybe you charge for the
Exactly.
you charge a premium for repair,
Yeah.
right? You need to
Exactly.
showcase that. You've not thought about that flow. That's your business. You see, you
Yeah.
have to pay for this.
You have to consider the business. Your business cannot be fixing all 40 attachments for everybody. That's at no cost.
At this stage, I would say maybe men should start wearing wigs.
but in the real sense, like realistically in the real world, that's what happens. But I was trying to like give it a bit of high level. So I didn't want so much because if you notice, I did a bit of that the jump. So I didn't want to have like so much.
Yeah, you didn't want to have it complicated. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying. But I think for me,
But you
I think that
put a note, right? So again,
yeah, you go. No.
oh, sorry. I think my network is bad.
Okay, for me, let me just jump in.
No, I was just saying that you guys are actually put it for what.
Okay,
What's
I'll
happening with your network?
yeah, I think it's network. But I'll jump in now. Uche, what I'm saying is I understand you're trying to keep it less complicated so that it can look like a very neat flow and very reasonable. But I feel what you mentioned is actually a very critical decision. And I think it still needs to be represented on the chart.
Okay, noted.
So find a way to see if you can incorporate it here without disrupting the beauty of the flow, of the flow.
Okay, noted. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, Jabri, did you have anything else to add, or that's it?
Please, I have a question.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, Summer, let Kunle go then. He has his hands up.
Okay, okay.
Yes, I just wanted to contribute to the fact that, the part where the concerns on the weed is being acknowledged should have maybe a stop sign. That's a cylindrical sign that's, stop. It shows that one pattern has ended here while you do the other pattern. Thank you.
Very correct. Very, very correct. Did you note that, Uche? So further down on the last lane, so where you have acknowledges concerns on the wig, right? That process can't terminate there. So what happens when that actor acknowledges? Who is that actor again?
The factory.
So why is the factory acknowledging engages to? Okay, they are just acknowledging the correspondence from from the other people.
Yeah, we're just in the loop of what's going on.
Yeah, for me, generally, I would even say I don't really think that's a process that needs to be there. Because in the first instance, that arrow can't even come out of engages the supplier or factory, because that's not a decision box.
Yeah.
Right? So just, get rid of the arrow and get rid of the shape, because it's not necessarily, an active, an action that that particular actor needs to take. So
Can you hear me?
yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, or you can use a dotted line that is just informational. So that one to tell you, oh yeah, information. So you can put it there, but just put dotted line to state that.
Show the
But when
relation.
they acknowledge, does it really stop there? Are you saying that when a factory acknowledges concerns, they just say, okay, that's fine. They don't do anything?
To be honest, in the real sense, most times the factory doesn't take the fall. So is when so if you notice I said when you keep reading, like when you keep going with the flow, you see why I said escalate significant insight. Now I'm giving them proper evidence to show that this was a fall from their end. Yeah, so what matters, what happens in this receives feedback is not a casting on the stone. It's like a personal decision. So you can have a factory that'll say, okay, fine, we'll go ahead, and you can have one that say, no, we can't do anything about it. So most times you as the company takes the fault, to be honest.
So the
So
factory will not do anything, right? They just take it on board. They take the feedback on board. Okay,
exactly.
that's fine. But one thing, can you close this your working controls? Your flow is a bit difficult to read. I claimed my network has been bad. I've not really seen. But close it. It just gives a better experience.
So
Yes,
Uche,
collapse.
the one on the right hand side, right?
See the arrow
You
there.
see the arrow going up. Yeah, it's a collapse. Oh, sorry, not that one. Yeah. The second one, sorry, yep, that one.
Mhm. So this one, can you also make it smaller? I need to see the whole picture. The best way to read a flow is to have a view of how everything. And Uche, for me, some feedback. So a flow is not to write long sentences, right? You're writing chapters inside the flow. No, you can't do that. And you need to use verb, right? An action word. It's just you have to summarize that to maybe 2 words or 3 words that performs that action. You can't write, oh, escalate, control, engage stylist, and it's not a sentence. Do you understand? It's 2, 3 words maximum to describe what you're trying to achieve.
I had that on my note as well, Uche.
Oh, okay. I thought you've given feedback. Okay, go
No,
on.
no, 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 no. You
Sorry.
keep going. You keep going, but I'm just
To be
noting.
honest, I'm just saying based on what has jumped at me, I've not really been able to hear the presentation, but I think that Jabi's contribution is very significant in terms of that part of the flow that is not called out. I was also trying to say earlier that it is okay not to cover everything. A flow, you might not be able to cover in a swim lane, you might not be able to cover every scenario. And that's why we have process flow as well. So if you draw a swim lane and you see that, oh, it's getting too big and I can't represent all the different scenarios, that's when you then use a flow to say, these are the, you can just go and draw that flow we talked about now, like that one where, okay, that 5% chance, right? You draw the flow on its own. So it's easy to read and people to understand, to follow. I would also say that you can also put a note to say what is in scope for your diagram so that somebody reading can refer to the legend and say, okay, in this flow, if you've already stated that I'm not covering this part, this scenario, and I'm not going to cover this scenario in this flow, right? It is clear. Do you understand? So the point is you want to draw a flow that gives clarity, and even if you're not there to defend the flow will still be all right, at least to a good point. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, so but you've done an excellent job overall, but it's just those minor things that we want to improve. And I hope that everybody can take a clue from this. A flow is about giving us clarity. If she wants to write all of this as a requirement, you might not see how everything connects. You will not see how everything connects. You understand? That's the benefit of the flow. So I will just pass it on to Tosin and yeah, to give other feedback.
Yeah, thanks, Noah. Soma, I had a question. Did you want to?
Yeah, so considering the parts where we're confirming if it's the fault of the user or if it's the fault of the weak factory, is it possible after the first decision box where you have the yes, no, is it possible to still have like another decision box following it up?
Yes. Yes, very possible. Very possible.
So
You can
in
have
that
multiple
sense,
Yeah, you can have multiple decision boxes, following each other. In fact, there's a flow we call a decision tree. A decision tree is usually made up of, it's basically like a flow that has like different decision boxes, right? And just showing where each decision leads to. For example, maybe you have different scenarios, right? Instead of just drawing a normal flow, sometimes it might be better to actually draw a decision box to actually really show you, exactly, where you end up, right? So, for example, you're drawing a decision box. Is the order good? Yes or no? If the order is good, then it's shipped to the customer. If the order is not good, or if the order is good, then another decision needs to be made on whether we want to ship it to the customer now or at a later date. If the order is not good, then we need to make a decision on whether we send it back to one department or not. I'm just creating a scenario. But most important thing is you can have decision boxes upon decision boxes, as long as it's logical, right? And as long as it doesn't violate the BPM rules.
Okay. Secondly, in an instance where it's the fault of the week, the CEO or whatever, and you're issuing a refund to that customer, does the process at that particular point where you write it, does the process have the stop symbol where you refund the seller?
Is that the last step of that process? That's the question we need to ask first.
Yeah, so like, after the decision box where we say, okay, if it's the fault of the seller, yes, then following that is going to be like, let's say, a refund. So is it going to be a process, or is going, because that is where it's going to stop for that particular decision?
Well,
because
you can't say that this is where we now need to ask the business owner, right? Where Uche needs to go back to the business owner and then clarify on what the process is. So we can't say, because at the end of the day we could say, okay, if a refund is issued, we need to capture details of what actually occurs, even after the refund is issued, right? Does the customer still need to make any action when they receive the refund, right? Is there any action on the part of the organization? We need to know. So again, we can't just generalize it. We need to tie it back to the business process, right? And if it's that, that's where it ends, then yeah, sure, fine. It's perfect to terminate it at that stage too. But the business owner will be the one to actually make that decision.
Okay.
Are you asking if we should expatiate on the refund process?
No, I think she's saying that. So once the business has done a refund to the customer, so is it okay for you to just close the process there?
Not entirely, because we have a branch of yes and no. So if it's not the fault of the business owner, no, it's going to continue from there. But if it's the
So
fault,
what should happen if it's not the fault of the business? What should happen? Typically, let's think about it. I'm a customer. The business have come back and said, this is not our fault, it's your fault as a customer. What will happen?
life moves on.
You
Let's
tell the
see
customer,
what will happen.
you tell the customer your warranty doesn't cover.
Exactly. They need to be
fault.
notified.
Yeah.
Right?
Just like you went to get a phone. You get
No,
a
that's
phone.
the thing. In a weak business, there's nothing like warranty,
Yeah,
especially in Nigeria.
So if there's no warranty,
but you receive a notification. Won't you receive a notification that, sorry, this was your issue, we cannot process refund or something like that? You receive a
However,
message.
we are able to do this for you.
Exactly. You still
want to
receive a
keep the customer.
notification, right? Whether it's warranty or not, you still receive. So that cannot end there. You still need to send that notification to the customer. And as Uche is saying, maybe you now leads to another decision. Like, we want to offer you maybe 50% off on something else?
Next
Do
purchase.
you want to take? Yes or no? You
Yes.
understand? So it can go on, and that's why Tosin is saying it depends on what the business wants to do.
Yeah.
If business wants to say no more talk, just tell them that we can't process this, you not get, and that's it. But Uche can be a solid businesswoman and want to say, okay, I will pacify you by giving you some discount in the next order, right?
Yeah.
You want to choose that, yes or no? You understand? Then the process continues again. It comes back again to ordering process.
Yeah.
So flows are very logical. You can see it is. You have to step into the flow, and whenever you draw a flow, you need to initially when you draw it, you need to have the understanding that it will not be perfect the first time. You need to now step back and go and reflect on it again and say, even me, if I draw a flow, it doesn't, we would always review with stakeholders because you can't get it right the first time. You might have missed some step or made some assumption. So when you draw a flow, you go back and read it yourself, step into the actor's shoe. Is this really what they do? Does this make sense? You find out that, okay, I've missed some things, you add it. After that, you still need to go to your stakeholder and validate and review with them. They'll give you insight till we get to a point where everybody is happy with everything and they will move on. So flows are very logical and they are interesting to draw because it helps you think about a system logically, like what can you do? But that's brilliant. I just appreciate that Uche actually used that business, right? Empire. So, which is brilliant. So, by the way, Uche sells there, so please patronize her. As you can see, good customer service. So please patronize her as well.
Thanks, Noah. So
Middle weeks are
my
available.
sorry, Kule.
I said middle weeks are available, so we can also buy.
For some of us that our edges are going. Okay.
All right. Uche, thank you so much. For me, I think, yeah, I really love your flow. You know, it was really great. I think generally your presentation was on point as always. Your flow is really neat. You know, it's very logical. And you know, used good choice of colors as well. Although I'm not sure why you just changed it to this thing.
Black, right? It's I
Yeah.
don't know. After once it just gets 6 p.m., everything goes black. I don't know why. I'm trying to fix it.
Okay. All right.
You're using dark mode.
I'll check that.
That's why.
Yeah, you need to check your settings. Yeah, but apart from that, although if you look at it very well, and just because I'm OCD like that, and generally all BA should be, you can see your lanes are actually not even.
True.
Can you see?
Yeah,
So
very.
you need to fix that. Then also, some of the shapes are actually not in alignment. So if you look at your last lane, you see how your end shape is overlapping with the line, right?
Yeah.
Yep. So try to avoid that and try to make sure that your shapes are actually, you know, in alignment, both horizontally and vertically. It just gives it that very neat look. I think Noah has spoken about the verbiages as well. Try to make sure you're, you know, using action words and you keep it summarized. So you see your first three shapes, right? See how they have their verbiages, you know, just summarized and straight to the point. You know, purchase a wig, uses the wig. Yeah, but when you start giving too much, putting too much details, then it just makes it a little bit hard to, you know, hard to read and makes it, yeah, defeats the purpose of a swim lane or a process flow. But
Okay.
apart from that, yeah, excellent job and well done.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Who wants to go next? I think Noah has already selected the people to go, so.
I think you called me, Noah.
Okay, go and start practicing your interview prep. Doing interviews
No, I didn't get
from
a
next month.
feedback. No, I didn't get a feedback on my own assessment. Is it all right if I go as well?
When did you send?
Last night.
Yeah, you can go. It's fine, Bernard.
Yeah, but before Bernard goes, I think I mentioned somebody that needs that.
Yeah, you called my name. That's why I'm a little bit.
Yeah. So you
So,
Kayat, Bernard will then go.
okay, can I go now?
Yes.
Okay.
So Bernard, you go after
Let me share
Rukayat.
Please,
my
I
screen.
didn't get a feedback as well.
I didn't get a feedback too.
Don't worry, if you didn't get
Before you
feedback,
say you didn't get a feedback, please make sure you submitted Tuesday, right? But you did not.
I submitted on Tuesday.
You did?
Yeah.
it's fine. If you haven't gotten
All right.
feedback, you
Yeah.
still get feedback this weekend. So
Noah, hello.
yes,
Yeah.
Jabba.
I just want to suggest if we can have time for each presenter so that we'll be able to cover more people and we can learn from every other person.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you. Yeah.
You want to have time for each present.
Yeah, yeah.
Like you're ready to. Okay, yeah. Let's go.
So that we don't keep going. Yeah.
So try to present in 7 minutes. 7 minutes and very quickly.
All right.
So I don't know if you all can see my screen.
What
yeah,
leg
because
is this one?
Sorry?
This leg that is breaking.
Okay.
What happened?
I struggled a lot with that. Like that's so
Like,
I struggled a lot. Like so annoying. So pardon me my first time. I said, but when Tosi was talking about like, oh Tosi, my drawing is so. But
No worry. Practice
but I
makes
will,
perfect.
yeah, I will explain what I. So here I'm working on a progress flow, which I'm trying to talk about a food ordering application. So what basically happened here is the customer who starts the food processing application orders food, and when such is ordered, the next one is he received notification of the food he has ordered, and probably from there we can also go to the order request system whereby it confirms what actually he ordered and more options is given. So like that, you can see where you walk down to, is it a normal order? Then if it's a normal order, yes. If not normal, like Tosi always say, he said we should be having an additional order, we should be having 1 input and 2 output. So if it's not a normal order, then we take it, if it's no, then is it a special order? Then if there is a special order, then we can take it, but if no, then that's end there. So, but if still a normal order, then order confirm. If the special order, after much putting his orders, we still confirmed it. Then from there also, we go to the payment procedure whereby he make the payment. So if the payment is successful, then order is being dispatched. But if not successful, the customer also receive a notification of payment, unsuccessful payment. So from that order depart, then we come to an end.
Wait, what? This thing you are saying with your mouth, is it in this flow?
Yeah, it is.
Chucky, did you want to draw? Were you drawing a flow or you want to do fine art?
Like I said, if I try to straighten it, sometimes everything just disappears. I'm like, oh God.
I know. Don't worry. The more you've drawn it, that's the most important thing. You've drawn it, you'll be able to draw it better the second time, the third time, and going forward. My own quick feedback. Let's go through this. But before we even give you some expert feedback, in the room, round the room, do we understand this flow?
Not really.
Right?
I think the arrows are missing. So
The arrows are
it's difficult to
pointing.
understand. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit difficult to understand, and that's the essence of a flow. It has to be clear so that remember, you're doing it for your stakeholders to give them clarity on exact flow. Now let's walk through some things that can be improved. For example, you started your process. Let's walk through it as a customer. I want to order food. By the way, you need to give your flow a title. Everybody needs to give flow a title. Let's know what this flow is about. But let's say this is a food ordering application. What is the first thing I do? You said to start the process, customer orders food. How would the customer order food? There's something that happens before a customer can order food, right? Even if you want to go high level, you still need to kind of like give some context on how the customer would order the food. Do you agree? So let's walk through together. How would the customer order a food on an app?
They'll have to launch the application first.
Launch the application. After that, what happens?
You browse menu.
You browse menu, right? Chucky, what next? After you browse menu.
Then after
Select
that,
the items.
Look at it, you're now Chucky.
Oh, I didn't know you meant that I should respond. I thought we're happy.
no, before I allow you go ahead, not like these things didn't actually come up, but I feel like, from the last class we had, the timetable Tosi was like, we should try and keep it as simple as where we can also manage to, deliver what we are trying to say.
Yeah.
So not like I don't know it's gonna open an application. Not like first I can even start the customer brings in phone or bring in a laptop.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you, but in trying to, go high level as well, we need to put the important thing. Now, it's difficult to just say this will be the important thing on a particular flow every single time. But as much as possible, things like at least browsing menu is important process for you to actually order food. Do you understand? Even if you don't want to start from launch application, you assume that you launch the application anyway. But ability to browse menu. Remember when we were doing our MVP for food order, we said menu is very important, right? Because if you don't see like how am I going, think about it. And this is how you know that you've gone to high level. You said customer order food. How will I know the options I have? It is through menu, right? You can see that is why that part is very important. Do you understand? Because this whole flow is food ordering, Abi, right?
Yeah.
Food ordering. So if you just say customer order food, that means there's no point to do all this other part anyway. Because you've already finished the flow here. You just say customer order food. That's the outcome. Do you understand? Because if you want to go by that, this first box is the only thing you need for your flow. Because that is the outcome. Customer order food is the outcome anyway.
I want to ask a question, Chucky. Which do you think is more important for you to represent on this flow? Customer to input their delivery address or customer to receive a notification?
I would say customer to receive a notification.
Oh,
Notification.
so if
why? No, let's know why.
Because why I said why, because I'm using this as an app, so it should be in a customer's phone. That's how I brought it in. So I was like, okay, for him to order this, it might be good. It might be an app. Maybe let me say for an example, it might be one of these out foodlets or whatever. An app is dealing with his phone. He'll be trying to order. So that's the perspective I'm coming from. So when you order things,
you're talking about okay, sorry, go.
So let me rephrase my question. So again, which one do you think is critical to have represented on your flow here? I understand you said it's like you're making an assumption, right? That the customer already has their address penned down on the application, right? So if you are drawing a flow, now remember we are talking about putting key elements of the process and representing that on your flow. So if you are drawing a flow, which one do you think is critical? for customer to actually put in their address or for customer to receive a notification when they place their order?
To put an address
Why?
for the food delivery.
Yeah, why?
Because it's essential for him to get his delivery, I guess.
Exactly. It's essential for him to get his delivery. But if he doesn't receive a notification, is that going to be like a killer? If he doesn't receive a notification. So you see, when we are talking about ensuring that you give reasonable level of details in your flow, these are the kind of things that you'll be weighing against each other. Is it necessary for me to input this in my flow? Is it necessary for me to put in that the customer opens the application? Is it necessary for me to put in that the customer navigates to the menu? Is it necessary for me to put in that the customer makes a selection? Right? So you need to ensure that you are prioritizing the critical steps or the critical processes, right? And what Noah is saying is that things like, basically customer opening the application, inputting their customer details, their address, delivery address, and all that, they are critical steps that must be included in the flow. Now, I'm not saying that customer receiving a notification is not a critical step, right? But try as much as possible to, if you can accommodate, all of the reasonable steps, please do put it in. There's a balance between putting in the details and summarizing it. And you need to try to find that balance.
So, thank you. I think, so your own flow is actually talking about, I've gone to a restaurant, I'm seated, I'm kind of scanning a code, like a QR code to order.
No, that's not its flow. No, that's not it.
What is your flow?
Its flow is dispatching it, because that's a dispatch that occurs at the end. So the order is dispatched, meaning
So there's something, so the fundamentals of this flow is not correct. Do you agree? Do you see it now?
At
Because
what
that's
point, please? Go more details. Be more detailed, please.
okay. So this type of flow, for example, as we said earlier, you want to browse your menu, right? Make your choice, right? When you make your choice, which is just follow it logically, you make your choice, and you should be able to change your mind. Things like that. If I want to edit my choice or edit the cart, whatever I've saved the food order, then if I'm good, all things equal, I'm okay. What do? Proceed to checkout, right? And to proceed to checkout, the next thing you should say is put your payment details, your delivery information, all of those things, your payment method, delivery information. And then, or you can even say, some stack can even say, do you want pickup or do you want to be delivered to you? If you choose pickup, then the options you get is different. Pickup is going to just send that your notification becomes critical, right? So you'll be notified when you pay. The next thing will be pick up, pay, you get notification about order readiness, you go pick up, transaction complete, right? If you say delivery, if you choose delivery method, then you know what you need to do. You supply your address, right? Your delivery address, you make payment. What happens? You can track, right? Maybe you should be able to track your order if that's what we want to add. So track the order, and then when it's delivered, maybe they even call you or you get some notification that your order is in front of your door or something, right? And then that ends the process. So when you say something like, okay, sorry, Tosin, so when you say something like normal order or special order, it's a bit ambiguous, because what does normal order mean? Rather than say normal order, I think what you're trying to say is to be able to select different options from menu, right? To be able to select different things. Or maybe I don't know your thinking, but you can explain if I'm wrong. But was that what you wanted to say?
Okay, let me come in here because what I wanted to say is he already knows what he's ordering, all right, because he has already confirmed it. But now the particular thing is ordering comes with maybe a special package or just a normal package, which are two different costs.
All right, Chucky. Now, let's look at it critically. You said order request system confirm the receipt order, right? And then it flows. And then you're asking, is this a normal order? If it's a normal order, then the customer needs to confirm the order or the system needs to confirm the order. Then if it's not a normal order, then then you're asking, is it a special order? So if it's not a special order, then we are ending the process, meaning the person doesn't get their food. Yeah, that's what I interpret
That's
with
what you said now.
that you've drawn. So let me tell you the best way to actually even represent it. Even if you want to put in the fact that, okay, is it a normal order or is it a special order? So where you have the flow coming from that box there, it comes into a decision box. And the decision box can say something like, you know, order type. What is the order type with the question mark? And then the output would be either normal order or special order. Now you need to determine what happens if it's a normal order, because you cannot even put a decision box there if they are not going to have different outputs. But from what I'm seeing here, they are all leading to the same input, which is confirm order. So either whether you order a normal order or you order a special order, it's still going to the same box there for you to confirm your order. So why do you have two decision box for that matter in boxes in that place?
You can't draw a flow like you can't draw this yes and connect it this way and it goes. No, decision box, it goes, one input comes and then two outputs, either yes or no, true or false, because you're making a decision.
Yeah.
It's like you have two options. Is either you do one option and go this way or the other option and go this way. So you can't go, oh, this option, then come and we connect it here and then we now, no, that cannot work. It's going to confuse everybody.
So just to get you right, you mean that the output should be going to two different boxes, not like trying to join.
Yeah. So let's even say you want to do normal order, like Tosin has said. Say normal order, yes, right? You need to determine, so what happens after that? Is it okay? Are they going to select anything or is it going to confirm order? Maybe you've configured the normal order to include rice, beans, and fish. Maybe your special order means it's vegetarian. Maybe that's your definition, right? So if it's normal order decision, yes. If it's no, that means it's going to special order. Then you need to determine what happens from there. So special order, no. So if it's not normal order, it has to be special order. That's what you have to tell us. And if it's special order, you tell us what happens when you go with special order. Is it going to payment flow, or is it going to review order or confirm order there and then goes to the other things that need to happen like delivery, payment, etc.? Do you understand? And that one that is normal goes through his own flow of, the same thing, confirmation, payment, delivery, and all of that. So I know if I'm doing normal order, I go this way. If I'm doing special order, I go this way. Do you understand? But then you have to configure what that normal order is, like what, so that me as a user, when I'm choosing normal order, I know what is inside that normal order. When I'm choosing special order, right, I know what's inside and I follow that flow and pay and do all the other things. If that's what you want to draw. but you can't connect it like this and then connect both of them and then say, oh, do you understand? It's a logical step. Do you understand now?
I do.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the feedback for this. I don't know if Tosin has any other thing.
No, I think that's it. I think you get the concept. I think Chucky, you still require some bit of more practice. Just to particularly, logic, like the logic, you need to get it right. Then the details, you need to get it right.
Yeah.
Then the verbiages as well in the shapes, you need to get it right. Then the neatness of your shape as well, right? I think you still need to do a lot of play around with it too to get used to it. But yeah, I appreciate the effort and at least, and funny enough, like your decision boxes still have, there are basic things that you did that were right. If you look at it logically, like the flow still, apart from the fact that it's not, the level of detail is not there, it's still, even if it's not unidirectional, but yeah, it's still, at least there's still some
Yeah,
commendation.
there's logic there.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Chucky, you've done fantastic work. All we ask for is to try. So long you try and you're open-minded to take feedback, you're already a champion. And that's what you are already by doing this. Now you've drawn a flow. Do you understand? That's the magnitude of what you've done, a flow. All you need to do now is just implement the feedback and you have a flow that works. Case closed. You draw another one. Draw the things you like. Just think about anything you do. Oh, I love coffee. I'll draw a flow about coffee. Oh, I love cooking pepper soup. Draw the flow of what do you do to cook pepper soup. From there, you have fun with it. You understand? And you just be unstoppable. There are three components to draw a sweet flow. You need to understand that process first. You need to know all the shapes, right? And then be able to represent it logically and review with people. That's it. If you can do that, then you get a correct flow for your context, and that's it. But you're able to draw a flow. You know what the shape is. Sorry, and then you know what the idea you're trying to represent. So I think that you're fine. It's just the last part to implement the review, and that's it. All right, people are raising up their hand. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Chucky.
So I want to get to you, Tosi. I want to ask you a question because last time we talked about collaborative diagram and also you talk about swing lane. Now, on the process, I noticed that both of them almost have the same features, like different actors. Is that both of them are the same thing, or can you just tell me a little bit what's the difference between the two?
So collaborative diagrams are basically diagrams that identify different actors and the relationship between those actors. That's basically what collaborative diagrams are. And we would say swim lanes can sort of be categorized as collaborative diagrams because they also show you the actors and the end-to-end process and how the actors actually interact with each other and the system. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's answer some questions before we go to the next presenter. Bukola.
I don't have a question. Okay, it's a question. Can I present after Bernard?
Yeah, sure. That should be fine.
Ooh.
Okay.
Mira.
Oh, I don't know if it's a question, but you can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you.
So I actually did not submit my work because I was having issues with drawing.
Yeah.
So
okay. So you haven't done it yet at all, or have you done it?
No, I have. So I'm asking if I can present it.
Yeah, you'll be on the queue.
So long we have time, yeah. So let you after Bukola. So Bernard, what's your question? The next person should be sharing, please. Who is okay?
I was gonna ask because from the Turkish screen, the flow the diagram itself had like two end sort of like boxes or circle. Is it possible to have two-ended processes or two-ended flows in one diagram?
It's possible, it's not impossible, but it has to end logically, and it's for more complex flows. That was not a complex flow, and there was no need for two end at that. But you can, like you can have, there's nothing wrong in having two end. When you know you must just know the reason why you want to have a end point, right? So if that process ends at that place, you have to end it. You can't move. So yeah, you can have two end. No issues with that. It's always better to have one, so the thing follows logically, but yeah, you can have two end or more.
Okay.
Yeah. Michael, you are just widening in the chat. Eh?
You will come and present soon.
Don't distract Alaja for us, please. All right, Rukaya, let's go.
Yeah, good afternoon. I was going to share the food ordering, present that, but since we already talked about Chucky's,
Thank you.
I'll use the HRIS. I'm working on the leave management component.
I talked to you. Where did you go?
Chaya will not come to Chaya.
I
Which
talked to
work?
myself.
You have to stay in class, oh.
So I did the swim lane for the leave management component of the HRIS, and I identified 4 actors: the employee, the system, the manager, and the HR manager. So the first thing that happens is once the employee decides to take a leave, they log into the HRIS system and navigate to the leave management menu, where they fill in the application for the leave, capturing the dates and how many days they want to go and what kind of leave they're applying for. Is it a sick leave? Is it vacation? So from there, then they submit the request and the system sends a notification to the manager, who receives the notification and review the request. So in reviewing the request, they check the system, considering other employees, whether there are other people that are taking leave at that period so that the work is not impacted, and how many leave days such person have left, they can accommodate their leave, and if somebody is there to cover for them when they are not around. So during that review, the manager decides whether or not to approve the request. If they don't approve the request for some reason, they put it down, and the system sends a notification to the employee, who receives it and goes back to resubmit. But if they do approve, they still get the employee still gets a notification through the system, and then they can take their approved leave. But while doing that as well, the system is also tracking the employees' leave data and all that, to be sure that, and the HR manager is also reviewing during that process to be sure that they are within the policy and the person still has enough time to take, enough days for whatever they are asking for. And that way they update the system, and the system updates the leave balances and the records of the employee. I think that's about it.
That's all.
It's the leave management system.
Where's your end process?
It's with the employee. They take their leave. They take their leave.
No.
Why?
It can't end like that. Where's the end?
Yeah.
Can you see it? I can't see it.
You can't? Take approved leave.
It's the green one on the right. Take approved leave.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I was following this update employee leave balance. Okay, that's a system thing.
Don't fuck our girl up.
So first thing for me, well done, very clean. Oh, Tosin, you want to go first? Oh, okay. Very clean flow. I love, like, it's so clean, professionally done, well thought out, well done. Did you research it before you drew the flow?
Of course.
Ah, that's great. Well done, well done. That's what we want. All right, so to the feedback. So you log into HRS, you navigate to leave management, great. Submit leave request, goes to, so this sends notification to my, is it just notification is sent, really your actual leave application?
Oh, the leave application. Okay.
Right? Okay,
Yeah.
good. Leave application. So receive leave application, right? Review request, then you said, okay, this is good. No, you send notification of denial. It's not visa. But anyway, I get the point. Now, where I have problem is the system send that notification to the employee. You now said the employee will resubmit the leave request. Why is the employee resub? Is that the next thing? So if you get, I say you send an application to me that you want to go on leave tomorrow. I say no, you cannot go on leave, and I give you a reason that there's nobody to cover for you. So you will go back to the system and submit another leave for
Okay.
tomorrow.
So under normal circumstances, before you even go into the HRIS system at all, you've discussed with your manager, right? Before you even apply.
Maybe not. Maybe not.
Your supervisors.
Yeah, I don't. I just plan my leave,
Okay.
and I send it, and I can discuss after, because again, you might not review it immediately. I can just open it, send the leave request, and leave him a Teams chat and say, hey man, I want to go on leave this day for my son's appointment. I don't need to discuss it first.
Okay. So usually what would happen is that you're supposed to, in denying, there's a reason for denying the application. That should there. So the employee is supposed to review that and see if they can make adjustments to that.
Oh, what is it in this place?
That's where when they go to resubmit
No, where is the resubmit?
I just went back to submit.
Yeah, that's what I want you to fix, right? So you don't just go to resubmit, because it might not be the answer, right? You just, is either you end the process and they can kickstart another resubmit, or it goes to resubmit process, something like that.
Okay.
Right? But you can't just go back to resubmit. It can just be endless cycle. If I submit it for the same day again, my manager will still reject it, right? So
what you can do, Rukayat, is you can decide to put a decision box there after they receive the notification of denial. You put a decision box for them to review, and then one output of the decision box goes to them saying no action, right? Or accepts leave declined, right? And it terminates there. And then the second output goes back to submit leave requests, meaning there's an action for them to review, and there's only two outcomes for them reviewing. Either they resubmit the leave application, maybe based on circumstances that have changed, or maybe they might even be submitting different leave dates, right? Or they terminate the action there.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So you see, right? So it's not like you're wrong, it's just an improvement, right? That can help you elevate the flow, right? So that's one key thing that I wanted to call out. Then the other part, when the leave is approved, sends approved notification to employee, receive approved, take leave, fine. But this update, this part of you saying that HR review, so the way you've done this flow here, so are you saying that HR does not review before? Does HR have any power in this flow? So if HR reviews, okay, HR is reviewing approval, right? That's already
Yeah,
been
just to make
done.
sure that they are within the.
So if they are not within this thing, what will happen? A review process has to come with an action. Is either I do nothing or I do something, right? So the way you just said review approval, update employee, like there's only one outcome that can come out of it. It's not comprehensive enough.
Okay.
Do you understand? So anything that is reviewed needs to, there's something, an action that can, is either it says go and update leave balance, or they say, oh, manager, why did you approve this leave? This person, you know, there has to be an action. I'm just telling you that it's not as simplistic as just to go back and update. And by the way, it's not the review process that would update the leave balance. By the time you are choosing the number of days on the application, right? It would recalculate, the system will recalculate how many days you have left, not the HR. That would be crazy. Like the HR will now have to go and recalculate. My goodness. The
No, the
company that
HR
have
is not
1,000.
No,
recalculating.
I think you
It's the
should put it on
system
the
that is
system
doing
layer.
it.
Yeah,
So no, you said the way I'm reading the flow is like, so when it's approved, you said review approval, update employee leave balance. The system is doing that, but you're saying that is the HR's action that will go and update that balance, right?
it's wrong.
Which is, if you want to do that for all the employees, do you know what will happen? They go just they swear for the BA that implemented the system, because that's too manual. So anyway, when they are submitting leave request, right, the system will calculate. So if you say I want to take 2 days and you have 20 days, right, it should recalculate that -2. So if it is approved, then that takes effect. Then you have 18 left. If it is not approved, then if it's declined, then it goes back to 20 days. So it's the system that will undo all of that, like you've already represented. But the way you've drawn it looks like, oh, it is HR's action that would go and update that balance, which is not.
So sorry, can we just remove the HR line? Then maybe at the beginning, instead of going straight to submit, we can say maybe fill the application, the leave application before submission, so that when you're filling the application, the system at that point is trying to calculate before submit.
You can just send. You see how you send the request to manager. You can also send like notification of that request to HR as well. So HR knows that, oh, somebody has submitted the leave. Now, when the manager approves, the status of the leave will change to approve. Right? HR will see that, oh, this person and that's what typically happens. This manager has approved this leave. Okay, good. Right? And then they can go and check if they want to drill down and check and say, okay, it was 2 days, blah, blah, blah. And that's all what they do. It's more of advisory. HR will not say, they don't really say, oh, we will decline the leave.
Yeah.
All right, that's my feedback. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well done.
Yeah, I think now, look at what's happening.
Sorry.
This Bernard not the vex.
There's no need to reshare.
Okay.
Yeah, I think now it's a very simple flow, and now it's giving the major feedback. Just remember, it needs to follow a workflow. You can't remove that HR manager there. The HR manager still has an action to take, and that needs to be represented on the flow, right? All right, well done.
Well done, Ruka. Like, is this your first flow ever? No, right? No,
Again, I cheat.
It can't be your first flow ever, but that was a solid flow. Well done.
Thank you.
Okay, so who is up next?
Bernard, you're sharing or not? Oh, night mode.
Oh.
That can be changed.
Bernard, you just go to the right of your screen,
Yeah.
that moon, click on that moon. No, come down a bit here, click on that one and put it to light.
Light, yeah. Oh, bless you. Bernard, what is your second flow? You're mute, oh. Ah, okay. Somebody came prepared.
Oh, sorry, I'm not very used to the share screen thing, so I'm trying to
Yeah.
work my way.
Is this your first time sharing?
Think I've done it one other time, but yeah, with this one, I'm trying to like open up different things.
Wait, you prepared a PowerPoint? Oh.
So, sorry?
You prepared a PowerPoint for this?
Yes,
Oh,
because after the last class, yeah, I thought I would just include it in the assignment because I was sure
Oh,
if we were
that's
gonna
good.
present it.
I like how you brought Gone to a knife fight. Well done. Thank you. All right, let's go.
Yeah, good day, everyone. My name is Bernard. Today I'll be talking us through the week 9 assessment, which is basically developing a flow diagram for a food ordering application and also a swim lane diagram for capturing the end-to-end process of components of CRM. So I have the table of content. No, I'm not sure. Which would you prefer that I prefer? Should I present? Should I do both or just go ahead with one?
No, do the second one, not food ordering up.
Okay. Okay.
But I want to hire you already for this.
Thank you. All right, I'll be speaking to the swim lane diagram, which depicts an end-to-end process of marketing as a component of the CRM. So in the marketing process, you have for the actors, you have the marketing lead, you have the system, you have the customer, and then you have the sales representative. So the flow starts off with the marketing lead researching and determining the actually I'm gonna bring it up to here. Is that better?
Yeah. Thanks.
Okay. The research okay, yeah. The marketing lead research and determine the target customers for the marketing strategy, and then after determining the target customers, the marketing lead uses sort of social media, websites, ad videos to drive customers towards their social properties. That is like, the way you would open up your Facebook, you see some ads from specific companies, or maybe when you're watching YouTube videos, you have ad videos. So when the customer clicks on or clicks on the ad link or shows some sort of activity um, towards the means that the marketing lead is using to drive the customers, then the system gives notification to the then the system gives a notification of activity from the target customers, and so it determines, so the system determines if the potential customer is showing an interest. That is, if they're showing some like they're interested, then if they're showing like that they're interested or they're showing interest, then the marketing lead follows up with the potential customers for further engagement. If there isn't any interest from the customers, then the flow goes back to the marketing lead, continuing the sort of like the advertisement process. And moving forward from the marketing lead, giving sort of like a potential, following up with the potential customers for the engagement, then they would be able to align the prospective customers with the sales team, because they're basically the marketing team, and the sales team are the ones who would basically proceed with customers. So when they align the prospective customers with the sales team, then the sales team would be the ones to onboard the customer and assign them to an account or case manager. And when this happens, then during the process of this happening, the system is basically tracking the marketing strategy performance, and which then the marketing lead uses this strategy performance to basically measures the marketing strategy performance using the real life data and information from the KPI. And when he does measure that, then he uses the data from that to enhance and improve their marketing process.
Interesting. So, what is the sales process like? So, what is the end goal of this process? Is it to just collect data to improve the process?
Yeah, because this is for the
Marketing.
marketing. It's for the marketing. Yeah, it's for the marketing process.
So it's
The
more or
specific.
less like, but in my head, how I'm seeing this is, what is the end goal of marketing? Is to generate leads, right?
Yes.
To generate leads. So does this process you've explained help us generate leads? Maybe. There's still, maybe I should ask everybody else, like, do we understand this flow?
Okay.
Do we understand what this flow is solving, or this flow in general, based on this presentation?
Well, for me, I think since the sales rep already onboarded customers at this stage. So what they're doing for the marketing team, what they do now is gather that info, the performance now, to now track it and use it to enhance and improve their process. I think that's why he ended it, because they already are able to onboard. I think that's the fit for me.
All right. Let's look at. Let me come in here. Bernard, good one, good presentation. From what I can depict from this flow. So let's start with the title. The title says end-to-end process of marketing as a component of CRM, right? So we want to understand what the end-to-end process is of the marketing department to actually generate a lead, right? So we are not even concerned about the sales department. Maybe we might want to capture in the moment where they hand over the customer, to the sales team. It's fine. But in my opinion, I think you've done a really great job, but I think there's still some more work to be done in capturing some more details into this flow, right? Because it's at a very, very high level.
High level.
You get
High level.
it's at a very high level. And you basically just said the marketing lead does research and they drive target towards customers. And that's basically it, right? And then you've put in a function of the system to, to actually capture activities of target customers, right?
Yeah.
So it's a really good flow, especially it's a flow where, it might still be essential in a business area. Maybe an executive just wants to see the high level approach that the marketing team actually uses, right? To capture customer and how that process is actually handed over to the sales team, right? This flow can serve that purpose and can be like, okay, we just research and we, work towards driving the customer. Once we have a potential customer and they make up their mind, then, we follow up with them and we ensure that the customer, is handed over to the sales team, and then they are onboarded by the sales team, and that's it, right?
And the main important work of the sales team in this flow is basically to enable the system and the marketing lead to get to the point of like measuring the strategy, the performance of the strategy. Because if leads are being pushed down to the sales rep, or if the sales reps are not being represented here, then there's no way for us to know if those leads were actually what it is they were good leads.
I completely agree with you. Perfect. I completely agree with you. And at the end of the day, the end goal is actually to be able to, make improvements. And how do we do that? Right? By the system tracking performance. And then the marketing team can actually use that data to improve their marketing strategy. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, which is fine. But yeah, we just to sharpen your skills, I think you need to you need to go into the details. And this would look like, right from the point where, these days we have marketing tools, right? You need to do a little bit of research to find out what those marketing tools actually do. Again, and try to see if you can represent it on this flow. For example, where you have research, the first step, research and determine target customer. There are tools that actually help you determine target customer. Try to understand those tools and try to understand the process that a user would actually follow to use that tool. Targeting customers can be a whole process flow on its own. You get, because there's so much that occurs. What strategy are we using? Are we going with, okay, search engine optimization, right? Are we going with physical marketing? We want to capture all of that process. So there's a lot involved. So what we are just saying is that is at a very high level, but we think you can take it to an extra detail to actually capturing much more information in there. But other than that, I think, yeah, presentation was great. The flow is logical, colors, in my opinion, the colors are just a little bit sharp. Yeah, I don't know.
I think because when I was working on it, I had the dark mode, the colors made sense to me. So.
But now, so maybe you can look at toning down the colors a little bit. But yeah, apart from that, I think excellent presentation.
Thank you.
No.
Yeah, thanks. Those have said everything, but what I want to say is at this stage, we want you to do a flow that makes you dig deep into a component, right? This is very high level. This is exact, like Tosi has said. But for you to actually systemize it, if I want to get my marketing, like if you want to improve our marketing process for Sync Skills, for example, you can't give me this and it will work, because just high level, like it will not solve that problem. If the target is, okay, we want to get 70 students, like what are the things, how would you handle that? For example, that flow would be extremely useful. And I give you that assignment. So great job. But I want you to go and draw a flow for me, right? Where in our context, Sync Skills, the problem statement is we want to get 70 people in next cohort, for example. Tell me what marketing solution you deploy. Draw it in a flow. Research, right? That will give you the answer. Then draw the flow out, and we would have a one-on-one, because that would be extremely valuable. And you saw that that is already a project that you can say you worked on in an interview. Easy. And look at same thing for you. You can say you've implemented an HRS system for an enterprise. The leave, the onboarding, the recruitment, all of those part of HRS. So that's already project ideas. And in fact, somebody used the project they worked on last time, HRS, to get a job, because they went there and talk about the project they worked on. And it's believable. It's not something you read. You've worked on it, so it sticks in your brain, and you're able to draw from that experience in interview. Easy. That's the benefit of doing this. All right, let's go to the next step. But yeah, Bernard, as I said, task for you. Go and do the assignment I told you, and let's talk about it. Anybody else that wants to take on that challenge can take on that challenge as well. It will help you learn a lot. All right, but well done. And oh my God, I want to hire you because the professionalism is like super. And this is what we always say, like you do the extra, you're memorable. If you're memorable, people will not forget you. Like you leave that impression in an interview. They can't just get over you. It might just be someone like me on that board, and they just like the fact that you showed up with this presentation pack, and they're like, wow, everything else does not matter. I just want to hire him for that. All right, let's go. Thank you, Bernard. All right, let's go on.
Can I join the queue, please?
Yeah. Who is going next? So long we still have time. Let's go now. Is this Bukola? Bukola. You're muted.
Yeah, this is Bukola. Can you hear me now?
Yes. Let's crack.
I don't know what you can see. Is it the process flow of food ordering application? Is that what you're seeing on my screen?
No, your HR employee recruitment process. And that's the one you want.
Okay. All right. So hello everyone, I'm Bukola. So I'll be presenting the HIRS employee recruitment process. So the process starts from the human resource requesting for new employee with the description and requirements with the ad placed out. And then the prospective employee sends in their resume. The IT department set up an employee profile to shortlist resume, and then they provide resources and access to the hiring manager and the HR department. Then the HR department goes through the shortlisted resume to see if it matches the description and requirements. And the shortlisted candidates get contacted for interview, while those ones so that's why I have a decision box here. If the candidate is shortlisted, yeah, they get a notification for interview. If not, they get a rejection notification. And then it goes down to the hiring manager or the department head to conduct the interview. Then they notify the HR of the selected candidates. The HR looks at the list. If the candidates passed the interview, then the congratulatory email will be sent. And if the candidate fails, they get a rejection email. Simple and short.
I like that. Simple and short, clarity.
And short. Okay.
Listen, you want to go first?
Yeah. Simple and short. Simple and short. Let me first tell you that first process that you put in there is not supposed to be the first process.
Okay.
Because that's not the first thing that occurs in the recruitment process.
Okay.
Who is conversant with what occurs in the recruitment process? What's the first thing that should occur?
maybe a team or the organization would decide first if they need.
Exactly. The hiring manager needs to first decide, okay, we're experiencing staff shortage. We require staff shortage. Oh, sorry, we require staff because we're experiencing staff shortage, right? And obviously, yeah. And then that's the first thing that occurs. They notify the HR department. So technically, the hiring manager is the one that actually kickstarts this process, not the HR department.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Now,
yeah, it does.
Now, request for new employee with description and requirement. So obviously, the hiring manager starts the process, then the HR department takes over, right? They need to understand what the requirement of the role is.
The hiring manager and the HR department.
Say that again.
What's the difference between the hiring manager and the HR department?
So the hiring manager is the manager in charge of the department that they are recruiting for. For example, if you are recruiting a data scientist, the hiring manager might be the manager of data analytics. And then the HR manager or the HR department is, of course, where the department where the recruitment actually occurs, or the department responsible for the actual recruitment.
Okay, so that's under the assumption that there's a need in the organization and they're trying to fill it.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
But there's also another angle to it. What if it's an entirely new organization?
Okay.
So HR sort of takes care of all the needs of all departments to fill it.
How will HR know who to hire?
Exactly.
So in a new organization, the HR plans the scope of its workforce. Even the hiring manager that is hiring in the case of an establishment that is ongoing will just be hired.
No. I'm saying, of course, I get what you're saying, but even if it's the business owner, all right, HR must find out who we need to hire from somewhere. It might not necessarily be a department, but HR, except the HR is also the business owner or the company.
It can be in most cases.
Like us, like sometimes I do HR, right? So that can happen, but and that's that you need to now think about, like, you're wearing different hats in that case. I'm wearing the business owner hat and I'm wearing HR hat, but I know the requirement of who I want to hire. That's why I'm able to go and put that. HR cannot just come and say, "Oh, we're just going to hire 50 people or one person," without a need from a department. That's what Tosin is saying. However the company is structured, it still comes from a need from the department.
Even if it's a one-man business, the hiring manager, like Noah said, is still a separate actor, because you, as the one-man business, you are the one identifying the need for an additional staff, but you are playing another role as another actor to actively recruit somebody for that role.
Yeah.
Right, thank God. We have HR here.
Who is HR?
Kola said yes. Yeah, of course, you have to collaborate in all cases. You need to, you can't just go out and hire. What if we can't pay? You know?
So because I get that
if you're wearing
concept.
the hat, you can understand what you need, what you can afford, and you just put the right dots in the processes.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, in some organizations, processes are different. In some organizations, the HR departments will probably, have the insight of whether, they've got the budget for that role, whether, they can actually go ahead to hire for that role. You get. And sometimes they might actually need to consult maybe like the HR business partners, right? Who give them enlightenment on whether, that filling in that role is actually financially viable or sustainable for the business. right? Okay, so let's continue. Request for new employee with description, and then after then employee sends in resume. Wait, they don't advertise the role?
That's the request. It's placed. I said an advert is placed requesting for a new employee. You know, you said we should shorten it, so that's why I shortened. I didn't want to put all the whole story in it.
Is this not story enough? This was said now paragraph. request new employee. Simple and short. Another one can be place ad. It's
Yeah,
step by step,
role advertised. Oh, yeah.
right? So it's step by step. Even it says sweet and sharp.
If you want to make it more detailed, there's just in that your first step, trust me, that your first step alone, we can establish a full swim lane for that your first step alone. Because there's a lot that occurs with actually advertising a role, right? So after they've they received, like a recruitment requisition from the hiring manager, right? There's a lot that occurs, they first need to ensure that they've captured all of the necessary requirements for the role. They need to ensure that they have the right position description for the role. They need to ensure that they have the right salary range for the role. They have the right visa requirement. They have the right necessary requirements for the role, right? Then they also need to ensure that they've engaged with necessary, if they don't have an in-house recruitment system, they need to ensure that they've engaged with necessary, sorry, not even in-house system. They would need to engage platforms like seek.com, platforms like LinkedIn, platforms like Indeed, to ensure that they're actually able to advertise the role, right? If you want to capture things like all of the necessary costs that are involved in that, we can capture that in the process flow too, depending on how detailed you want to go. So that's why I'm just trying to, make it clear that there's a lot that can actually happen in just that first step.
Okay.
You get, so you need to start looking at it from a really detailed level. Like, do I want to go that detailed? Of course, you then need to make the decision. And like I said last week, that it will then depend on what questions you are trying to ask, number one. It will also depend on your target audience. Who is going to be the target audience for the flow you are drawing? Is it your development team? Is it the business? You get, so those questions will determine the level of detail that you need to put in your flow at the end of the day. But now we are trying to ensure that you put in reasonable level of detail so that instead of just drawing something very high level and something basic, so that you actually understand, you really understand how to draw a flow. Because I won't be really satisfied if we are drawing high level flows that we actually know how to draw a flow. You understand? So I feel the major thing here is we need to break it down further. We need to put in more details. When I see that monster flow, then I'm happy, and then you've done it really well. I'm happy that, okay, this person, has the concept of actually understand the concept of drawing a flow. Now, there's so much I can talk about, but let me just go to the very obvious ones. If you look at the prospective employee, he gets a rejection email. So when the employee receives a rejection email, is that the shape that you're supposed to use?
No.
What shape are you supposed to use there?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Then maybe I think maybe you need to rewatch the class video.
Okay.
Yeah, you need to rewatch the class video. Does someone want
So
to?
that's the ones that got the rejection emails, right?
Yeah, the one that got the rejection gets rejection email. You can't terminate the process with a tax.
Okay.
Right? So you need to terminate it with the right shape, with the start and end shape.
With the start and end shape.
Yeah.
So like how many end shapes can be in a swim lane? If I use an end shape for this one, an end shape for this one, and will I use an end shape for this one too?
So you might not necessarily use an end shape there. You can use this normal, process one and then tell it to go back to end.
Okay.
You get a notification that ends the process. If that's truly what happens, right? You get notification, you connect, it's lines. You need to direct the line to go back to the end. So you don't need an every small inconvenience, end box. No. The line should always go back to the end diagram here, sorry, shape, except it's a very complex flow and the lines will be
all over the place,
conflicting and all of that. So then you can do, but don't just put end every single, to make the flow difficult to read.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, Noah, just a question. What line are you talking about here?
Just
Is it the
normal
one?
line, direction line. So rather than just stop here, you can just say, okay, you get the rejection mail, then it goes back to end the process. That ends the process.
But mind you, you can't take it to the last shape where it says get a congratulatory email.
Yes, I get that.
Yeah,
So
that's
there
why
will be
you
an
not
end
put
process at the back.
end itself. You must. That's why you guys, as you draw it more and more, you understand. You don't want to put something inside your end. End should always be, at least just keep it as end and start, so that you free it up for the general end process and your flow is neater. Because if you just put this as get ending a process, get a confirmation, then you've made it. You see this type of issue now, you'll not be able to turn your direction to that place.
Yeah.
End should always be empty. Like, not always, but if you know you're drawing a complex flow, just keep it end and start. Just everybody knows that this shape is end and start. So just keep it free.
Yeah. Thanks, Noah. So also very obvious things, because your lines are not well joined. Can you observe that?
Yes.
They are not, they are not kissing the shapes. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, so you need to address that. Then some lines are crooked as well. I'm not sure if you can see it. Some lines.
I can see. I corrected both, but I could not find it to like present it. That's why I just presented this one that I saw.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then the shapes are not evenly distributed. You see the one in the HR manager shape. You see how it's close together. Then you see the one in the other shape. They are a little bit spaced out. Right? So it needs to be evenly distributed. Then it needs to be well aligned as well. Right? Some shapes are going inside, some arrows are going inside the shape too. Some are not even touching the shape at all. Yeah.
Okay.
I think all of those things are things that you fix up, when you actually, use the tool a little bit more. But I think the fundamental thing that you need to address here is, the ensuring that you're breaking it down a little bit more, ensuring that you have the right verbiages in the shape, and ensuring that your flow is actually logical and that you're following all of the business process mapping rules. Yeah. And then where you have your yes or no's as well. Your yes or no's, I'm not sure why you've not written it in the arrow. It's just sitting outside.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know it should be in the arrow. All right.
Yeah.
For me,
okay.
Thank you.
Nice.
Yeah, sorry, Summer, go first then.
It's just a quick question. I've been hearing process flow. So I want to know, process flow, is it flow charts or is it the swim lane? Or it can be used for any of them?
So process flow generally just means, any process that is showing, a flow. Like a swim lane can technically be categorized as a process flow because it shows a process, but it just incorporates different actors, right?
So, a
But
flow chart and a swim lane, they are both process flows.
yes, so we can technically call them process flows, but generally people who address, process flows as flow charts.
Okay.
You get?
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, so my own feedback, just to add to what Tosin has said. So when so the way your prospective employee, even that process says send in resume. Yeah, it's a document, which is fine, but it didn't connect logically, like, because it didn't show that the prospective employer actually did anything. You just put the document there, but your arrow is coming from human resource that is requesting for new employee. They should be receiving, if at all you want to go by that, they should be receiving something, not pointing down to employees flow. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like,
Yeah.
if I request for something or I place an ad, like you said, I'm going by the assumption of your flow now. If HR places an ad, they would be receiving resume, right?
Resume, yeah.
But what is your arrow saying? It's like going out. You see what I mean? So
Yes,
your
I see
resume
what
is
you mean.
going out instead of it receiving. HR is giving out instead of receiving the resume, right? And then you said set up employee profile to shortlist. Why are they setting up a profile to shortlist candidate?
Because
Or
they might have like hundreds of resumes and
what
they can't
profile
go
are they
through everything
setting
as
up?
well.
You said set up employee profile to shortlist can talk me
Yeah.
through that.
Like they can have lots of resumes and they can't go through all of those resumes at the same time, like reading the resumes, who is this, who is
Yeah.
that. So they set up a profile, put in the details, then the system shortlists those one that meets the requirements.
This thing you
Maybe
just
the
talked about, where's the system here? You see what I mean? Because it's on the system they have to do that. It's missing that, and that's a very big one. Like, your system component is not even on this flow at all. Except you're saying this whole thing happens manually. The fact that you miss system here is a big one. Do you agree?
Yeah.
But even yourself, you've just mentioned system now and it's not in this flow. So that's what I wanted to call out. You've missed system is a big part of this. System plays a lot of things because they can't shortlist without the system. It's just going to be too manual. All right. And then, yeah, that's what in addition to what Tosin already gave you. So, yeah. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well done. You did a very clean flow as well, but of course, the more you do this, the better you become. But you get the idea of what we're trying to say.
Yeah.
So your next flow will be better, and it means that you already understand employee recruitment process. You can go to interview and say, hey, I worked on implementing an employee recruitment system. This was what I did. These were the requirements. I engage with stakeholders, to elicit requirements, and you already know some of those requirements, right? And you just need to add the outcome, what it meant, what this whole process meant in terms of project objective. You already have one project to talk about. So that's the way we want you guys to see it. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well done, Laura Bukola. Well done. Good job. Okay, next. Who's next?
Who is next? Can I go now? Or someone before me?
I think there's
no, Jabri. I think it's Jabri.
Okay, thank
No,
you.
no. It's not Jabu. There's somebody before Jabu.
Everybody is talking.
No, it's not. It's not.
Let me just do my
it's not
quickly.
Mira.
Nobody is talking.
No, it's not
Is it
Mira.
me?
I
He
think,
didn't call anybody from Group A.
yeah,
I
it was
think it's Mira. He called Mira after me because she spoke after I did.
Yeah, I said Mira after Oluwabukola. Jabi, don't worry because you've gotten some feedback. So let's
Mira, yeah.
Mira, please share.
Please, can you see my screen?
Yeah. Okay, cool. All right, let's get started.
I'll be doing process flow.
Yeah.
So, hi everyone. My name is Mira. I'm taking you guys through the food ordering process flow for food ordering application. So, we start. We ask if there are existing accounts. If there's an existing account, we go through the login phase. If no, we go to sign up. So while we are login, we ask, is it approved? Maybe they put their login details. If yes, it goes to home screen. If no, it prompts user to re-enter login details. And then we go to, from home screen, go to browse restaurants. Then they ask filter, if the filter with dietary restrictions, maybe just breakfast, lunch, or dinner. If yes, we apply filters. If no, we just display available restaurants and all their meals. And oh, ouch. This is the problem. Then we view menu and then place order.
It's okay.
And then from place order, we go to, sorry, these lines are just, anytime I touch the screen, it's just appearing.
It's okay.
yeah,
Change your
you need to change your cursor.
to it's still like you're trying to add more things.
More
That's
lines, yeah. So you need to change your cursor.
go to
Sorry, how will I do that?
where is that cursor of control? Scroll up. Scroll up. Oh, sorry, not.
Are you using a map?
Map. I'm not sure about that too.
Click.
Like
No. You know what? Click that cancel. That scratch pad thing. Click cancel first. Let me.
Cancel.
No, that scratch pad. That's no, that your left. Your left.
Where?
Your left.
Where's the left?
The controls on your left, where you take the shape.
Shape, okay.
Yes, go up. Hold on. See scratch pad. Close it.
up.
Yeah, close that one. All right. Yeah.
Can you press escape on your computer?
Can I what?
Press escape.
Don't worry, continue. Just continue. Because of time.
Okay.
Manage it. Continue.
So from here, view menu, and then you place order. Then there's a decision box there. Proceed to cart. If yes, check out. If no, we go back to browse restaurants. If yes, check out. Delivery, yes. Then enter address. No, maybe the pickup button. Then to payments.
All right, just
From payments, Approve, yes. Display other confirmation details, no. Notify user of failure and provide assistance, then order is still pending. If yes, display other confirmation details and then order is successful. Then here, if there was no existing account, we go to sign up. Yes, it's successful, we go back to restart browsing the restaurants and look at their menu. If no, end.
Interesting. Well done. First of all. So why do you want to, I'm just trying to, you want them to actually log into the app?
Yeah, I think the
Don't
focus
only
here is to
registered.
get
Yeah.
main users using the app, not
Okay.
just
Not just any. So I can't be a guest and use this app, right?
no.
Okay, that's fine. That's the business decision. All right, so let's go back to, so we log in, yeah, all those are good. Let's go back. So
So where?
we go to home screen, you browse restaurant, and you said filter. That place I have issue with it. Like you just said filter, apply filters. That's very confusing. I know you did explain it like filter to filter different based on dietary requirement and all of that, but it's not clear. If I'm reading your flow, I don't know what you mean by filter. So that's very confusing.
Okay.
So you might want to say something like what's the word now? Filter restaurant or something. Yeah, something like that, you know. So it just gives a bit more context on what the user will be doing, right? So, and then
Okay.
display, this will be display result or something, right? So when they filter the restaurant, and you can put a note, you guys can actually put a note, right? And you can put a note somewhere that says filter options can be based on dietary. You list it out just in a small note, right?
Okay.
And you have to do it nicely, just something extra note. You use dotted lines, you know, so you can provide more context using that. And then the next thing will be to display the filter result, right? Or shows filter result. Then it continues. Then he said place order. Okay, view menu, place order. Select. So is place order the right thing? The right verbiage there? When you view menu, do you place order in an app?
Select.
In an app, right? It's not, I don't think place order is the right one because it's you select menu or something, menu option, you know, especially as you're adding to cart. So then proceed to cart or add to cart. Then you said proceed to cart, checkout, delivery. I like that. Yeah, yeah. And enter address. Okay, so if it's so you said checkout, then it goes to delivery. Delivery, yes. Enter address, no. Pick up, okay, that's fine. Then from entering address, you went to payment, okay, which is fine. So is it payment method? You might go more detail, like, you know, payment method, etc.
And remember to use an action word as well, not just payments, like make payments.
Yeah. Do you understand? Yeah. Approve. What are we approving?
Like if the payment was successful or not.
Exactly. Because approval means that somebody is going to do something more or less. So use words like successful, payment successful, then yes, it goes to display order confirm, and that's fine. No, notify. So this part, notify user, that is too long. First of all, notify user of failure and then provide assistance. What assistance are you providing?
Maybe
They
you should
just
check
probably,
if they were using a debit card, maybe you should check if it's correct or not.
yeah, but yeah, that's provide assistance looks like maybe you're sending them financial aid or something. But anyway, you can just say a payment not successful, then maybe you can go back to retry flow, or it ends like the order is impending, like you said. But that word provide assistance is not the right word. Do you understand?
Okay.
So yeah, that's my feedback there. But
Yes,
brilliant. I like that's what we're talking about. Like going step by step, I can follow through the flow and understand what you're doing, which is what we want, step by step. So it's not high level, because here, after like selecting order, right? Someone can do this flow and just say, oh, selecting menu and then payment and then end. But given this context, with all of these things happening with checkout, delivery method, gives more context, which is very good, which is what we are saying. And the more details you can give, the better. But again, we understand you can't draw every single scenario, especially with complex flows. But this is very good. That's my feedback. Tosin, somehow you have a question.
Yeah, when you talked about writing using the dotted lines and adding more information, because I also got a feedback, almost same thing as hers, where it was said I put like edit food details. So it's meant to be like if you want to take out stuff from your food, or you know how you basically alter any food item. So I put like edit food details, and you said you can just add more context. So where we're adding it, is it going to be inside the diagram, inside the box?
No, remember, we don't want to write story. That's why I said in things like that might be a bit difficult to understand the context. You can put a dotted line. Literally, this is dotted line here. All this dotted one. It means information. This is FYI, right? And then put the context as a note.
I'm sorry, I'm still confused. As a note still in that box, or
so Mira, please go to that line.
Yes.
Can you just click that line, that dotted line in the shape?
This one?
Yeah. Select it. Now, see that filter part that we're talking about? Move the line there. Problem. All right, delete this one.
Problem. Wow.
Delete it. Go and click on that filter and add another line to stay around that side for you. Oh yeah. Don't worry, you get used to the two. Even me, I've not drawn flow in like a while, like 3 months now. I should draw some flow soon.
Where am I putting it?
Put it around that filter. This just for a test, right? Just put it near this apply filter. For example, I just want to show and make it horizontal. Oh,
I cannot do it.
give me control. Let me see if I can request control. Give me control. All right. So this is what we're saying. Can I get control? So this is what I'm saying. I can just say, oh, delete all of this. Sorry, it's slow because I'm not doing it directly on my. Are you moving it, Mira?
I'm not moving anything.
Okay. I can use this and just. I'm not clicking. I can say filter by price. What else? Let's just keep it short. And this is not the one I wanted to use, but this other one is just slow. Let me try again. Is this one I want to use, but I think because I'm accessing from Mira is slow. Okay, let me try it now. All right. It's just slow. So I can say price, location. What else can we filter by? Dietary or what? How do you spell this?
Tary.
Tary. What else? Okay, let's keep it short. So, of course, I can make it smaller. This is too big. So slow, sorry. So I'll move it to this side. The point is it's just to give more information about what this filter should be considering. All right, so changes to second. The next person should get ready, and Tosi, you can start giving your feedback as well.
Mira, I think Noah has said most, he has pointed out most of everything. The most important thing I would say is for you to practice with the tools a little bit more. Particularly with your shapes. I think your arrows, some of them are not really in alignment. Yeah, so and some look at your approve, where it goes from approve to, first of all, that decision box, the output arrows are not labeled. So you need to label them. We need to know what action is actually happening, right? So from approve, prompt user to re-enter login details. So that needs to have the right shape as well. You can't terminate a process using that shape. What else? Yeah, but apart from that, I think you understand the concepts. You just need a little bit more practice. Yeah, and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sorry, this Zoom control is so slow. So, Summer, so basically this is what I'm saying. You just put the note. This is the note. Of course, I'm not formatting it well. And then you just connect it to what you want to give more context to. That's it, with dotted lines.
Okay.
Our internet is dragging and everything is slow. So yeah,
Yeah, got it. Thank you.
that's the idea. So somebody sees, oh, filter, they see that, okay, you can filter by price. You can put more context, like these are the filtering options, and then they know that,
Okay.
okay, these are what you can filter by. That's all. That's all I'm saying. All right, Mira, I can take
Thank
your
you.
control back. Thank you. Well done.
Okay.
But fantastic flow, Mira. Well done.
Thank you.
Okay. Who's the next person? Jabu? Last one for today, Jabu.
Okay. So since you reviewed the food ordering, did I do the?
Yeah, do the other one. Is there anybody here that cannot draw a flow yet? I've not even tried it. I suspect Michael. Michael, this busy man. Michael, where are you? Eh? Have you drawn your flow?
I'm here. No,
Eh?
finished.
Yeah, guilty, eh? This man.
So what I did is I drew it too. It's not like I didn't draw it, but I didn't finish drawing it. And then immediately work called. So I just
Oh yeah, go and draw it. This is start break, eh?
I will. This is start
And
break. I'll
Nigeria
definitely.
and Conference. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, Jabu, ready? Please be fast. We have 10 minutes to close before somebody says, please stick to time.
I think.
Bukola, our HR, where is your flow? Mr. Timmy, where's your flow? Huh?
So this is my swim lane.
I already got a feedback for mine, so I intend to work around it during the holidays.
Oh yeah, you did actually.
Yeah, it was not comprehensive enough. Yeah.
Yeah, you can see some feedback today, right? To implement.
Yes.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Well done.
Thank you.
Chabi, sorry about that.
No worries. Yeah. So this is the swim lane diagram for payroll system as a part of the HRIS. So I'm actually feeling the already. Let me quickly run through it. So I have 5 actors: the human resource, employee, manager, the payroll, and the payroll vendor.
But there's no system, man. My man, there's no system.
You need a system.
I need a system. Okay.
Yes, you do.
Fundamental. That's fundamental.
All right, are you doing it manually? Payroll manually.
It's one of the actors, but missing that system is.
Is it always?
This kind of system there's a system there now for payroll. Do you do payroll with your hand?
No.
A system that does payroll. So system is critical for this. More than any other actor self. Like because there's automatic feature for payroll that some people just set at once and then it just happens.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think overall you need to rework it. Add
And
the
there's no system.
system
Okay.
is the biggest component of this flow.
Okay. That's what, okay.
You can still do like what Bukola did, right? She can still do recruitment without a system. So she can do everything manually, right? But this payroll, you cannot. Well, yeah, in the manner of what you're trying to describe, you cannot do it without a system.
There'll be too much of errors.
Yeah, you can't just do it. You can't do it. So rework the whole thing, and but I'm looking at your flow. It looks very professionally done, like it's well aligned, you know. So that's a good start for you. You just need to add system because system will change the whole flow.
Yeah.
Literally. So there's no point reviewing everything here. All right, well done.
Thank you. Yeah.
In saying that, you should join Bernard on that task that I gave.
Okay.
And if anybody else wants to learn more on marketing, join that project.
What tax is that, sir?
Can you come again, please? On the tax, yeah.
So the tax is Sync Skills has a target to get 70 students on board in the next cohort. And of course, for that to happen, marketing as a component has to be right. So I'm saying that draw a flow that explains how Sync Skills will achieve that. That's the problem. So draw a flow, marketing flow that will help Sync Skills achieve that number. So you need to research the marketing process, system, all of those things and represent it. So basically my expectation is I see your flow and you come up with different approach for us to actually get that number.
Can we collaborate to work on this?
No.
Okay.
You can't because I want diversity of opinion. And more importantly, I want to see I want to see you get your hands dirty individually on the flow.
Okay.
Like the flow is an individual journey for now. You would always need to draw a flow on your own without needing other people. Of course, you can validate with people, but you need to actually know that's why some assessment are individual because you must know them. Like you need to know them, right? So yeah.
Could you please repeat the question again?
So you will go and work on a flow, and this is for as many as people that at least have done this first part and want to learn more. And I want to give you a flow that is meaningful, that solves the problem. All right. So the problem is we want to get 70 students on board next cohort, right? That's the future state. Current state, you can count the number on the call, right? So that's current state. Now, imagine that you're the marketing team, right? The sales and marketing team that have that target. What I'm now saying is draw a flow on how our sales and marketing team will do what? Would achieve that number. To draw the flow, system, is it campaign, is it whatever? I don't want to give you guys ideas because I want you to go and research this problem solving and you drawing out that flow. So to make it more practical in your mind, so that when you go to interviews, you know the problem, you know what you did, and then you can speak to that naturally. So that's the assignment. If you didn't catch it, rewatch the class and listen to this again.
Are you going to send this class already to us?
Yeah, you're gonna get it today. There's no class tomorrow, by the way. So
Yeah.
you guys enjoy, refresh, enjoy the downtime. Some of you that are owing assignment, no enjoyment for you.
There's no
Just
enjoyment.
make, like as we said earlier, April is a very pivotal month. It's the month where people's career will change. You achieve your goals. So, but it means that you sacrifice, reduce those numbers you're doing, because you get into this role, you get your return on investment. The journey starts now. So if you need to breathe in and now, do it. But yeah, I think like most of you are in a good place, to be honest. Some of you need to give it more time, like more effort in terms of revision, but a lot of you are in a good place. So yeah, no class tomorrow. Enjoy, but don't enjoy too much. Make sure you revise. We have a target, April 5th. We need to start to go for interviews. Then, if you've not done your resume, please go and watch that video. Do your resume, send it for review, give you feedback, and you start to apply. Application is like sowing a seed for your interview. Emmanuel, 2
Yes, sir.
minutes before I close this class. What's your question?
Okay, sir. Good. So 2 questions. The next class will be when?
Next week, same time.
Next week, same time. Okay, great. Then the other one is as we round up the program, is there like any how do I put it, like internship program or accelerator program to
Who has the answer? Who has the answer for man?
They are waiting for the answer.
There is. Thank you. You should not be asking this after week 9 or 10, man. There is breakfast for you. Yes, there is internship. Like, you're here till you get a job. That's our contract with you. So you'll be building product, and you get into problem solving mode. And I started this class. I showed the outcome of some of your, let me not say seniors, but the previous cohort.
Yeah.
I showed you an actual tangible outcome, and it has started. The assignment I just gave now for people that are ahead, that have joined their flow, is problem solving. You can go and defend in interviews as your project. That's literally what you'll be doing in the tech accelerator. Problem solving project. Our project is not to build an app, by the way. So our project is not to build an app. Some of you do vendor analysis. We want to implement an HRS tool. You will speak, the last set, they went to speak to several vendors just to understand the process of vendor analysis. They spoke to the HR provider. I think they spoke to another vendor. They were doing assessment of what HR solution, Jason solution should implement. So like when we say practical work experience, it is. And that's why I said somebody used that experience to get a job. All right, Uche. So this is not me. I wanted to close the class 8, but question. Yeah.
Okay, my question is, so I remember you guys said something about trying to like brush your LinkedIn profile. So at what point do you guys do that? Because if we start applying for jobs now with the CVs, resumes we have, I know some recruiters will want to go to your LinkedIn to like just look at your profile and all that. So how do we sync that resume to what we have?
Yeah. So we will do that. But yeah, I understand why you've asked this, because you're ahead in terms of resume. So we will respond to that and have a session with you at some point, because you are ahead. And for those people that ready for that, they can. But we have a session where we would go through, we'll explain resume and the approach to jobs and everything, and then we'll have another one for LinkedIn optimization. For now, we will send you the recorded one, so you start to digest it and think about how to leverage that, and then yeah. But for now, when you start to apply, for now, pending where we do that, you need to hibernate your LinkedIn. First step.
Yeah.
So until we optimize it, if you've gotten a go ahead, start to apply, hibernate that LinkedIn for now. That is the first step. Then
Okay.
we will start to optimize it. And when it is ready to go live, we go live, because you don't want to apply they see contrasting thing on your LinkedIn. It doesn't serve any purpose. And at this point, your LinkedIn helps you corroborate your resume. If your LinkedIn is not optimized yet, it will work against you. So for now, everybody will hibernate it until we optimize it, because that LinkedIn has to go through a transformation, just like you've gone through transformation on this program. So Jasmine solution, all of those things, leveraging your Australian work experience with Jasmine solution, they must be on your LinkedIn shouting, your branding. Some of you need to go to photograph and snap nice professional shot, not that WhatsApp one that you did like this. So yeah, things like that. Your professional summary, your banner, your experience, things like that. And you need to start to talk about business analyst things, connect
Yeah.
your business analysts, update your profile, connect with each other, so they see that, oh, your connections are business analysts, not other kind of domain, right? You know what I mean? So that is the branding we're talking about. But for now, it's going to be a negative. So if you're already at that stage where your resume is good to go, hibernate that LinkedIn. Hibernate that LinkedIn. All right. Any more question, guys?
Thank you.
What did you say? What did you say?
Thank you.
I just said thank you.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you, guys. Enjoy your holidays. And we see next week, Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Tuesday. What happened on
Or
Tuesday?
Thursday.
Tuesday, guys.
Oh, the interview session.
Interview prep.
Prep.
Okay.
Okay, I'm just kidding, but yeah, if you want to show up on Tuesday, you are free to show up.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah. All right, no worries, guys. Show up for interview.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
See you, sir.
Come and start driving another 35 minutes back home.
Where are you going to for?